So seeing as it's Christmas time, I really wanted to do something special for you guys, but I really didn't know what to do for you guys. So I thought, why not do something really, really, really interesting just for you? I ended up thinking, why not reach out to somebody that I know and ask them to come join me on this episode for you guys. I mean, this man is an absolute legend. I'm sure every single one of you guys know exactly who he is. And if it wasn't for him, the culture, the community, where we are today would not exist. And it's just amazing to see how far it's come from then to now. And just talking with him, I mean, this man's a treasure. He's literally a treasure. And, he was there since the beginning. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome the man, the myth, the legend, AKA Dave's Not Here, Tommy motherfucking Chong. Let's go.
Dripping on acid in the hotel lobby. Everything moving hella fast, Ricky Bobby. Floating in the ethers. Listen to the ethers, you can probably tell the future. Superhuman man.
Absolutely honored. You've been a huge inspiration to me and millions around the world. So what you been up to?
Just sitting around watching a lot of television and learning a lot of stuff. I've really been enjoying my telethon days. Love it.
I was looking back, and I mean, all this started when you was just a young kid in Canada, meeting Richard Marin.
Yeah. Well, just me alone in Canada for the first 40 years, and then entered Cheech. Actually, 35 years, I guess.
How was the whole cannabis scene back then? Was it really underground? Was it very open? Like, what was the whole vibe back then?
Well, in my town, it was unheard of. No one really knew anything about it. That's Calgary, Alberta, Canada, 1958. That was when I was introduced to marijuana through a friend that owned the jazz club, Raymond Ma. And but it was very scarce. I mean, he gave me a joint that I toked on it for a month, one toke at a time. But yeah, it was very scarce, unheard of. You could, if you had it, you could smoke it anywhere. I didn't hang out in Calgary long though. After I got high, I think I left the next year for Vancouver.
Did you ever know that Up in Smoke would have the impact that it's had on the culture? Because I mean, I know like you're standing there first person perspective, but I mean that movie's huge.
I knew it, but I didn't know why I knew it. There's a feeling that I've had all my life that it's on the brink of excitement all the time, because I knew there's something better, even better, that's going to happen. It's my life has been pretty amazing.
Up in Smoke completely set the tone for what would come over the next couple of decades. I mean, you guys were the first to do that and put yourself out there and really do that stoner comedy on a large scale like that. And I mean, the movie influenced me. I was watching that movie at 10 years old. Great parenting, right? So yeah. It was such a huge impact on my life. And if it wasn't for that movie, I would never do the activism work and the influencer work I do surrounding cannabis and psychedelics right now. So
exactly,
I mean, yeah. It's really made an impact on so many people. Now, I was seeing, is this true, that it was actually banned in Colombia?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, for a bit there.
Which is crazy, because you would think, like, out of all the problems Colombia had back in the 80s, that they would be banning Cheech and Chong.
Well, don't forget how much money they were making up the legal drug trade,
Yeah.
That was their income. They made billions. And we were not a threat, but it didn't, those countries, they don't like that. have their citizens with the ability to think for themselves, you know.
As far as, how far things came now, do you ever run into Donna, Evelyn?
Hey, guess what?
What?
I don't do drugs anymore.
You don't? I don't do drugs either.
I've been off them for a week now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I feel
love
real
it.
good, man.
That's great. Me too. I feel great.
You got any?
No, I just ran out.
Evelyn was married to Pat Morita. Remember Pat
Yep.
Morita?
Yep, from the Karate
And-
Kids, right?
Yep, and she did a documentary on Pat, and so I think she still lives in Vegas. I'm not sure, but we stay in touch through mutual friends. You know, yeah. We're always a Christmas shout out away.
Yeah, she became as big of, as important as Cheech and Chong. People love her, and
Yeah.
her parts weren't, huge parts, but she just became one of the people that people love from the movies. And it's great to hear that you still keep in touch with her.
Oh yeah. They're family, you know. When
Yeah.
when you do movies, it's like you've been adopted into a family.
That's
And
awesome.
they'll always be your family.
Now, I know because I travel all around the world now, filming and doing different things. And I, as a everyday cannabis smoker and, psychedelic user, I have to travel with my stuff sometimes. Sometimes I travel to countries or places that you can't just walk into a dispensary or whatever. How was it traveling and doing things when you're smoking back then? Like, did you just have to find it when you get to the location, or did you have your own little methods?
Well, we always managed to have a joint somewhere,
Yeah.
And we never give it much thought, It's just it's an afterthought, compared to to the worrying about the show or the music or
Yeah. So no, the reason I asked is so funny because one of the people on my team over here who actually just passed away, so I could talk about this openly. They would travel and they would always somehow show up no matter where we was with a bunch of weed or a bunch of whatever. And I would say, how do you get it from here to Africa? Like, how are you doing this? Are you not? So what he would do, and this is funny, you might find this funny. So one day he sits me down and he's dead serious. He says, you know how I do it? He goes into a suitcase and he pulls out a big dildo. And he says, I stuff it in the dildo. And when customs opens up the bag, I just shrug my shoulders and they immediately throw it back in the bag. So, for a long time.
Oh man, that is fucking brilliant. I never thought of it. I never thought of it. A big, what color was it? What color was it?
A big orange dildo. So he just whipped it out of the suitcase.
And then no one wants to touch it.
No, so he said the customs agent would just throw it immediately back in the bag because he's not going to flop around a huge dildo in the middle of an airport.
Oh, that is funny. That is funny. That is brilliant. That is beautiful. That's a movie bit for sure. Oh God.
Speaking about that, so was there sequels planned to Up in Smoke? I heard a rumor that there might have been a sequel planned to it.
Well, we sort of had a little legal problem as soon as we finished the movie. See, if you do a movie and it's not a hit, you got no problem. But if you do a movie and it's a hit, then you got a shitload of legal problems. And so I had a vision of a sequel. I wanted to go like Rocky, Up in Smoke 15, but the universe had other plans.
Yeah, it worked out. I mean, you've done so much in your life, and all the movies were great, from Up in Smoke to Nice Dreams, and I mean they're just all fantastic movies that will just live on way past me and you and all of us. It will be around for generations to come, and the enjoyment that they'll bring is amazing. Now, because I'm in the psychedelic space more than anything else, one of the people you worked with in Nice Dreams was Timothy Leary.
Yeah.
Who is a huge person in the psychedelic space.
Stick out your tongue. What? Stick out your tongue. There's the key.
Okay. This is not the key. I want the key.
That's the key to the universe.
Wait a minute, man. Get me out of here.
Hey, give me some, man. That's the key for you.
What was it? No, don't tell me. I wanted it to be a surprise.
So how was it working with him?
Well, Tim became a really, really dear friend, and we're still, his wife, Barbara, and I are still very, very close. And no, when you deal with acid on any level, you're bonded to whoever is there for life. You know?
It's true.
Like,
it's true.
It's a bond that goes beyond. Well, it's a bond that transcends, and that's what we're in the process of doing. And Tim, but he introduced me to his friends, you know, all the rest of the gang that I can't think of right now. The old guy, Burroughs. Mm-hmm. He introduced me. I had a nice little moment with Burroughs. Yeah, I just touched the fringe of the crowd. I touched the fringe of a lot of people, you know, and Tim was just definitely one of them.
That's amazing. Now, where the movies came from, like, I know I heard you speak about this before, but I don't know where it stands today. Does it stand with another future movie with you and Cheech?
Well, yeah, there's one we're kind of looking at now. But what I want to do, I want to have my own movie company, you know, and with my own movie company, then I can make whatever I want, you know, and so that's what I'm really looking. First of all, I'm looking to become one of the world's richest men, if not the richest man in the world. That's what I want to become within a couple of years, and I can do it because I have product that if people buy and people buy my product, my art, I could become the richest, the wealthiest man in the universe. And if that ever happened, believe me, we would have peace and beauty on earth like you would never believe, like they would never believe it.
Yeah, man, I swear, I get so tired from like all the traveling, all the filming, and you know, it's like constantly every day, and I do not know how you do it. How do you deal with, just because you do everything from, I see you with your products to your filming to absolutely everything, and it's like, how do you keep up that pace for this entire time?
You have to have good people doing it for you. That's the key to everything, is your band, your mates, the people that work for you, that make it all happen. You know, your assistant, your lawyer, your business manager, everybody involved, you know, in making my dreams come true is what it is, because everything I've done has been a dream and it's come true. And that's why I'm looking to become just think, if you made Tommy Chong the wealthiest man on the planet, just think, you can't even come close to how beautiful this planet would become overnight.
I agree. Tommy, if you ran for president, if you was the one, I would be right there by your side. I would use everything in my power to have you
No,
become somebody in
no,
power.
the power you want is wealth, and that wealth will give you all the power you need, because wealth gives you the ability to hire the best. That's what wealth gives you, the ability. Work with the best tools available. And, and rather, and they just have priorities, and the priority really is education around the world. But you can't learn if you're starving to death.
That's
And
true.
so you have to, but you're learning. So what we can do is not just like I did with Up in Smoke. I showed the world that Latinos, especially lowriders, are beautiful, warm, loving, funny people, and rich Jewish kids, spoiled rich Jewish kids, can be hung up on rock and roll like anybody else.
Yeah.
So I just showed, and when you combine art with anything, you get order, and you get peace, and you get excitement, and you get inspiration like you wouldn't believe. But we will, you'll never eliminate sorrow, because it's the opposite of happiness. If you eliminate a sorrow, then you wouldn't be anybody happy either. So my job, and all our job, is to do the best you that you can be,
I agree.
and that's what all I tried to do. I have limitations.
Yeah.
And,
For sure.
And I enjoy them.
I mean, it's just it's inspiring to see how much you do. Me also, I'm in the cannabis space. I have ownership in dispensaries and stuff. How's the dispensaries going? Like, I know you launched the dispensaries.
We're getting real close to being on the NASDAQ, on the stock exchange. We're going to be ringing the bell. And
Congratulations.
we're going to revolutionize. There's a lot of areas that people are neglecting. When they made pot legal recreational, they thought it was like they're legalizing a beer or something. And with the age restrictions and all that, the packaging and all that stuff. But the truth is, we're unleashing a torrent of education on people. They're learning so much, and we just have to keep accelerating that. And you know what I learned? This is where I feel a kinship with Cheech, because he's an avid art collector of Latino Chicano art, among other things. And in fact, he's getting his own art gallery, museum, called the Cheech.
I heard. Yeah.
Called the Cheech. So I want to stay on that theme, and use art even bigger. Use art to form, to show people the form of government that works for everybody, in the movies, because people copy movies all the time. Their life, I can't tell you how many people have learned from The Godfather.
Yeah.
Movies, all these movies, so that's the kind of movie company that I want to create, that I am creating now, and that's going to be my life until I leave. it will be involved in making and being part of an industry that can really tell people how to live.
With the cannabis space, how do you agree with the laws that were created? I know this could be you know, an in-depth thing, but the laws surrounding, you know, cannabis as far as sales and recreational and just ownership into dispensaries or products or whatever. Do you agree, or do you think there needs to be some change there as far as the laws?
Well, the first thing that has to be done is that it has to be made legally, federally. You know, they has to take off that stupid Schedule 1 that it's on now, that it has no medical use whatsoever, and do Schedule 2 or whatever schedule you want, but do it righteously. You know, just tell the truth about pot. That's all. And then let the chips fall where they may. As far as right now, you know, it's overtaxed for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
That's why I always wanted to keep it medical marijuana. I did not want to go to the recreational marijuana because there's really no such thing as recreational marijuana. All marijuana use is medical, whether you want it to be or not. It's going to change your body chemistry to the point that if done properly, it can be of great use, you know. Mm-hmm. And so it's a medicine.
It is.
And so what we have to do is lobby and say it's not only a medicine, but it's a safe medicine that should not be under any kind of schedule. Because it absolutely, if you do too much of anything, the worst that can happen with you is that you might have a real deep sleep for a while, you know. So this my opinion is that when we get legal federally, then lobby to the point where we can have it declared a medicine, a known medicine, and therefore not subject to federal tax or to excessive taxation.
A lot of people find issue with it is because when the laws were being created, Tommy Chong's been fighting, right? So not just Tommy, but so many people, where you're fighting all these decades and it finally becomes medicinally legal in certain states, but they never came to those people that were actually part of the movement trying to legalize for medicinal use and say, how should these laws be created? So a lot of people find issue with that because they put people to write these laws that know nothing about cannabis, know nothing about the, you know?
Well, you got to realize that the reason they made it illegal was for control. See, because once you get a federal rap against you, then you're no threat to anybody, you know, politically, other than you know, just the celebrity power, which, by the way, it's growing. And the thing is, we got the internet power, which is we're owning, and so yeah, the thing we have to just follow the rules. Whatever the rules are, follow them, and then control them, and then vote the right people in, and take care of our country, you know, from the top down. You know, get the right guy in the White House. We've had really good luck, and even Trump. I consider Trump a blessing, and the reason is that without Trump, just think about it. We wouldn't have Biden. We wouldn't have any kind of recovery like we're getting. We wouldn't have any infrastructure bill. We wouldn't have any, not only health, but child vacations for mothers. There's so many things that we owe directly to Trump. And it's a left-handed compliment, Donnie, but you did your job, boy. And so the country right now is just on a beautiful downhill easy course. And the environment, you know, no one was listening to anybody. So nature said, okay, here's a few pandemics to get their attention. So smarten up, guys. You know, go electric, go total electric, you know, and get rid of the pollution and raise the minimum wage and, you know, and share the wealth with everybody. That's how you do it.
I agreed 100%. Real quick, I know you got to go. We all have other things to do, but this has been amazing. Real quick, man, what's the secret? You and Shelby are like the dream couple. You're an inspiration for everybody. You look great. Shelby's beautiful. How what's the secret? How to keep it together for so long?
The secret, I found out, God, there is a God, and he really, really likes me. That's all I can say.
That's great, man.
Because I've been blessed in so many ways. But can you imagine? I have been with the most beautiful, according to More magazine, one of the top 20 most beautiful women in the world. And
Hands
she was
down.
in the top 20. She was in the top 20. So she is by far in so many ways, not just her looks, not just that gorgeous body, and her, not just her shitty personality when she wants to be, but I mean, her total beauty and her talent. I love watching her live because, oh my God. Well, anyway, you're going to see more of it. We're going to get back on the road.
I'm excited about that. So what, just real quick before you go, where, you know, obviously everybody knows who you are, but is there anything you want to talk about? I mean, the floor is yours. Things you have coming out, things you're doing.
Let me see, what am I doing? I'm testing all the good Tommy Chong products. I'm made myself the unofficial tester, the master tester, because there's the only very few things that I can do now that I really need to do and enjoy doing it, and getting as messed up as I can every day is definitely one of the most highlights of my life.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm doing. I even to the point where I can't drive. My wife has to drive because my eyesight is on one eye is fading a little bit, and I'm taking advantage of it.
Yeah, oh hell yeah, that's amazing. I mean, you're just amazing, and this was an honor, and a lot of people are gonna love to see this, and I just want to wish you well in all your endeavors, and I can't wait to see you ring the bell on the NASDAQ. And if you guys ever get a chance to try any of his products, make sure you go try them because they're absolutely amazing. Tommy, thank you so much.
Thank you, and don't forget, make Tommy Chong the richest man in the world. That's everybody's job, okay? That's what I want for Christmas. That's all I want for Christmas. That's it.
We're going to make it happen.
Okay.
We're going to make it happen. Thank you, Tommy. I'll talk to you later.
Love you.
Love you too,
all.
brother.
Enough said. What else can I say? Tommy motherfucking Chong, my man, I love you, brother. Thank you for joining me on this episode. To the Trip Team family, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope you enjoyed this casual conversation with Tommy Chong because I love doing stuff like this. If you guys like stuff like this, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. Big news. For Christmas, I'm doing a flash giveaway on my Instagram. I'm not even gonna hype it. I'm not gonna promote it. Right here on this video is the only place you're gonna hear it, and the only way you could win the giveaway is if you're following me on Instagram. So recently, Instagram gave me my main Instagram account back. So if you guys ain't following me over there on my real Instagram page, make sure you go follow official TTF Willy. So it's official _TTF Willy. That's my main Instagram account. I also have TTF Willy, which is my secondary account. Make sure you guys follow me on both, but I post the majority of all my stuff on the main account. So if you guys want to be in on this giveaway,
Go follow me because I'm not going to say a word. Because if you miss out, I'm telling you, you are going to regret this. It all plays into what we did here today. If you would like a chance to meet this man, then make sure you guys go follow me on my Instagram because I'm going to be doing something really, really special. With that said, I'm Willy Myco. Do good, be good, live good. Smooches, baby.